You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
They just don't know. Kids don't know what it's like to have had to cultivated tobacco and cotton. There's just they still don't know what it is anymore. Molasses.
They could barely get a tomato plant going in the backyard.
When was the last time somebody had to throw a barrel of molasses over their shoulder?
Spoiled
these days. Anyway, Jane's book. We got 7 more of those to give away. They're going to be signed for you. Jane's book. 3 gold backs from Wise Wolf from Quite Frankly Gold. Use promo code Frankly when you go there and you do your stacking. 3 gold backs are going out this week, and then you know, some other stuff. We're gonna keep building it up until Thursday. Vin, how the hell you feeling?
I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
Just tired. I feel good. I'm tired.
I'm with you. Although I've been really, stepping it up with the, working out the last week because I'm just I couldn't let the cold get me anymore. Couldn't let them keep me inside anymore. Just going for walks at least, and then also the pull-ups and everything else coming back. And because it's been a couple of weeks since I was consistent with that kind of resistance.
Yeah.
Woo. Felt like the Tin Man for a couple of days there, but I'm knocking the rust off.
Yeah. I mean, the only working I'm doing these days is just jujitsu, which is a good amount, but just tired.
Well, I'm happy
to be here.
Is the family well?
Thank God, everyone's doing well.
Good, man. Oh man. I mean, there's so much going on tonight. We have to talk. We have to talk about mental health at some point. I'll leave that for the second half because I have such good stuff to do right now with you. I wanted to throw something your way because, of course, this week is pretty exceptional week. Tomorrow,
yes,
is 20 years since the first time me, Anthony, and Mike went live on at 1:00 a.m. Saturday slot at Manhattanville College in Purchase, New York, and loved it so much that by May of 2006, we were already home doing it to whatever lo-fi kind of a way that we could do it in our bedrooms. And thinking about the past, we were only 4 years away from meeting you.
Yeah.
But of course, back then, 4 years was an eternity. And now I think about how really compact the timelines are. And you want to see something real quick?
I'd love to.
I said
20 years.
I've been going through so much material. This is the first thing I found that has you in it.
Oh, boy.
I know that you and Rocco and other people showed up to at least one of the Halloween shows.
Yeah.
Halloween parties.
Yeah.
I have to find that DVD and rip it and stuff. But this was an old Zen Live Network showcase video.
Oh, boy.
And Anthony put together, this had to be about 2012, 13, or 14. But take a listen to look at this. It's about 3 minutes long, but you're in there.
Are you disgusted that mainstream news media only presents one side of the story?
Wow.
Does it surprise you that MTV has taken the focus off of music and is now a world leader in mind-numbing reality TV? Of course it does. Enter the Sadalza Network.
There's been. There we go.
Since 2010, Sadalza has been running its operations in the small village of Portchester, New York, 20 miles outside of Manhattan. What started out as a late-night college radio show quickly turned into an explosive, free-thinking broadcast network that combines for the first time quality music programming and uncensored open-forum talk shows with real, unscripted news coverage.
The Zadaz Entertainment Network has been here for...
Look how young we were, Vin.
Holy smokes.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow.
Look, you still have your hair. God bless you.
Thank you.
Carm never had hair.
No beard.
And every month, every year, we're seeing more and more growth in the network.
This particular company, this particular project, adventure almost, is something special, and mainly because of the people that work here and the commitment, the passion that the people have put forward, and really just giving of themselves to it.
Zadalza is going places. This is the network. I feel Alex and I are very fortunate to get into a network that is really up and coming in a medium that is up and coming and
Beyond, that's
really happy to be
crazy.
part of.
Like,
So how is the world watching?
you
The
think
Zadalza
about that.
Network is a lo-
You think about that. That is absolutely, it's almost 20 years ago, right?
Yep.
And think about where podcasting, podcast networks, just the messaging of that at that time was not the norm,
No.
right? It was exactly what Anthony said in that video. And now that it's funny because just before you turned on the cameras, I was sitting here, so, man, this is like, it's weird because you feel like I can only speak for myself. You feel like as a person, you grow so much, right? Like I think about that version of me versus this what a radically different human being. But yet, do you feel like you've grown at all?
No.
What is that?
It's very strange. It's crazy, and I think it goes back to how I opened up last night because all of this stuff is just on my mind this week because I've been doing so much archival work. I've just become the archivist of my group of friends and my family. If I'm not organizing family history and, getting all that in order and labeled and all that stuff, now I'm doing it for all of the history of my friends, which that's our entire friendship has been on tape, essentially, because even before we were doing all the streaming, we were all hanging out together, as a part of all the activity we had with our heavy metal band. And that was all throughout college, and in college, so from maybe like junior year in high school, all throughout college, is when we were all getting together. That was all on tape. I have all those as well. When that band broke up in August of 2006,
You got a great memory. Wow.
that band broke up in August of 2006, and no, I'm sorry, August 2005, and then we got our first opportunity. A friend of mine said in February of 2006, hey, if you want a time slot here on the radio station, I know that you have I joined the radio club, so I had my license.
Yeah.
So, but I said, okay, let's do it. If we were still in the band, we wouldn't have time for that. We would always be gigging on the weekends or something like that. And so one thing just led to the other, and it's just nuts. It's nuts because, and like I said, things seem so far away. You realize they aren't. And also the disconnect from those guys that we saw in the video right there. I felt very disconnected to that person just maybe about a week ago. But putting myself into all that stuff and hearing the jokes again and bringing it all back, it actually made what's going on in the present feel a lot more, I don't know, enriched. Like I felt like the roots are deeper. Instead of, and that made me feel good because I didn't want to jump into those archives and start feeling like, oh man, like I was at a funeral or something like that. But I don't. I feel like I reconnected to roots, and that feels good. Even though you're not the same person, it's all feeding the same story. You have to have an origin story somewhere, and you got to embrace it. So I like that.
I love it. And it's funny because not that long ago, I was talking to my kids about when I was at WBAB, the radio station in Long Island, and doing that. And I found I have them all saved on my email because after your shift, you would go ahead and you would download basically your shift. You download all your breaks. And then you go in, you edit them, you trim it up, you find the break, you trim it, you email it all to yourself. And I was going through breaks and I was setting them traffic and breaks and sports breaks and all this stuff. And my kids are like, wow, like that doesn't even sound like you. Like it doesn't even sound like you, Dad. Like it was like such a foreign thing for them. And I was listening to it, I was like, oh my God, like that was was 25, 26 years old at that time. And it feels like, again, it feels like a different, like someone else's life almost, like in such a weird way. And yet it's still such a part of who I am. It's very weird. It's very weird when you have those moments of like reflection and you like, again, you feel like, to me, I can only speak for myself. It's like I've grown so much, yet I feel like I haven't grown at all.
It's also think about this. It's 3 bodies ago. Like you know how it's every 7 years is when officially every cell in your body replaces itself.
Right. That's right. Allergies change every 7 years.
In your bones, cartilage, everything replaces itself.
Right.
So you have a brand new body every 7 years. That was 3 bodies ago.
3 bodies ago.
You like we shed our skin. We're like snakes, man. And
reptilians.
Seriously. No, that's it's one way to think about it. Like I'm always like thinking about, we're essentially 10 people away from Leif Erikson landing in the Western Hemisphere, the Viking explorer. That was like, when did he crash down onto Newfoundland or something like that? Right. Was it like the year 1000?
I have no idea.
You do know.
Right, of course, yes,
that there was somebody born in the year 1000 who died in the year 1100.
Right.
They lived to 100, and on that year, somewhere in the world, someone was born who would live another 100 years. It's only 10 people from Leif Erikson.
That's kind of nuts.
That's really nuts. And
then again, you think how much has changed over that duration of time, and then how much has changed in our lifetimes, and that's such a good, on a personal level, right? As a human being, things have changed. But then you think about just what was happening in like the podcast space world, right? Because that's what we're extrapolating it from, and it was like, what a different world it was, that it was a network of podcasts and shows.
Yeah.
And now it's everybody has a podcast, and seemingly.
Right. And I think that's the thing that set it apart, is that there's always mixed space areas that are popping up around here.
Yeah.
Greenwich, Connecticut, a couple of years ago, we noticed that there was a podcast production studio on one of those, it was a street level space right next to a smoke shop. We noticed that there was a podcast studio up. It's like, we'll produce your podcast here. And, it was a place where you can go in, very neutral decor. They have all of the microphones there. There's somebody that's going to record for you. There's somebody going to help you set up all of your corresponding social media for it and all that. They're going to just, the RSS is going to be set up, whatever. And it's a one-stop shop. And I was looking at that. I was like, I can see where there's a market for that, perhaps. I mean, for people who really don't want to think about it, people who have a budget to spend because they don't want the budget to go away. You have to spend it on something. So you go someplace, whatever. But, when we did it, we wanted to find a way to pay the rent and just get people to come in and help chip in on the rent while we also just engineered their shows. And there was that exchange. But it really was about Monday through even throughout the weekend, how good is the quality of the program? I mean, we can tell you some stories about the people who walked through those doors and wanted to put shows on. I can tell you about this woman named Basha Riddick. She came in it was the most outrageous people, not bad people, but the money was not the reason why.
Yeah.
We actually wanted to see how well we can put together a great lineup of programming. And we had some people who were doing things remotely. King had a little bit of a broadcast. We had this other guy, Joker, who did a music power hour, late nights, most nights. And I
remember that. Yeah.
And they're from other parts of the country, farther up into the Northeast. But 98% of everybody on that network was local. Right. And you know what? It was kind of like, I don't know. We had our own little Seattle grunge scene forming there too, because you think about all the people who were working in that little space that really did well for their respective brands in the years to come.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting. It was like pirate radio. It was like this little.
Oh, man, that's a great movie.
Great movie. Love that movie.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Great.
No, it's all good. That's all good. Just wanted to bring that up.
Thanks for reminding me how old I've gone.
Hey, it's not like you're aging faster than I am.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
I didn't find any trick.
It's just crazy.
It is crazy.
It's again on multiple planes of existence. Hindsight is bizarre.
It is. I'm gonna have to go turn off that space heater soon. I'm starting to get nauseous.
Are you?
Hey, take a look at this though. The NASA scientist warns there's no way to stop thousands of city-killing asteroids from striking Earth. It keeps me up at night. That's what they say. She's worried about a rockalypse. The Arocalypse. A planetary defense expert. What's the expert? Like, wait, I wonder what that's all about. Oh, yes, I'm a planetary defense expert. Oh, yeah, really? What have you been defending the planet from?
Rocks.
Yeah. Oh, we've been shooting them out of the sky. Warning that humanity is defenseless. Oh, well, then you're not. What the hell?
Yeah.
Trust me.
My job is completely useless.
I am a planetary defense expert, so trust me when I say we are defenseless. There's no fucking point.
Whole job to figure that out for us, please.
Hold on, I have to turn off this heater.
Yeah, no worries. I'll hold it down here while you turn that off. Yeah, completely pointless. Your whole job is to figure out a way to protect the planet from flying rocks. And your answer is there's no way to protect our planet from flying rocks.
It's defenseless against up to 15,000 undetected near-Earth asteroids that have the potential to take out a city. What keeps me up at night, this is a quote, is the asteroids we don't know about.
I mean,
warned Kelly Fast, a planetary defense officer at NASA, while addressing the American Association for the Advancement of Science. The acronym is ASS.
Yeah.
In Phoenix, Arizona. Fast clarified that she is not worried about the large ones as they know where they are. No, they don't.
They have no clue.
No, they don't. There's too much sky. You don't know where all of them are.
She has a Sarah Connor thing going on, no?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I can see her getting chased by a robot. I can see her being, hounded by a robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so she says they're small. They're hitting us all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of known. We know we're always constantly getting hit by asteroids and stuff like that. And listen, the unknown ones, come on, really? That's a real, what is that? That's like a non-article. She's like a non, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh yeah, my job is to keep us, and we're defenseless against these. It's like, okay. What are you going to do, lady?
I think that I think people like her are being run out there to just get people prepared for some kind of an orchestrated planet-killing event that will force all of the parasitical elite into their underground bunkers and take about 20 years to just, live in this vast network of underground cities and highways that they've made for themselves, so kind of like a breakaway nation while, the surface gets toasted a little bit.
Sure. I think that's just completely just some type of subconscious psyops.
Yeah.
Of, hey, by the way, planting like this little tiny seed of something that's already in seemingly in action.
That's what I think.
I don't disagree with you.
I think that
I remember when you came on my podcast, the fish episode, when you said you look like a fish because the cameras are all fucked up.
Yeah. No, the cameras are not fucked up. I was bloated. I was bloated.
It was the cameras. And I said to you, I remember very vividly, I said, so Frank, do you think that there's this maniacal unearthing of something, like something else is going on behind the scenes and it's all this deep blah, 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 blah. And we kind of went into it a little bit. And you're like, yes. And at that time I was so torn and I was like, really? Like there's this deep state of existence and, demonic. We could borderline call it demonic. And you're like, yeah. And obviously now here we are. We've arrived to the shores. But yeah, I want to give you credit for that because that was, I don't know how long ago that was. Quite a while ago. I'd say probably 3 years ago, maybe at this point.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I would say so. And we've arrived. So.
And you're going back to church.
Oh yeah, I've been going back to church for quite some time now.
See, that's when you realize, you know what it is. I was talking about the mental health. I don't know what we'll probably just do it in reverse. What we were going to do tonight. Yeah. I was talking about the mental health situation. I saw. I don't know if you had read anything about this latest shooting, the psycho in Rhode Island.
I saw it briefly. I saw the headline. I saw the first couple minutes of the clip. I was like, I can't watch this. And then I saw some pictures of the person of interest and some of the details, and it's gut wrenching, man.
I think about the children. There's this father that essentially tried to take out his entire family, got his ex-wife, got his son, and tried to kill the grandparents and everything at a hockey game. And of course, he's transgender. He had gone by Roberta Gonzalez or something like that for a while, and it's just, I look at that. First, the only thing that comes up for me when I cross paths with things like this is I just think about the children. Like, I think about the confusion, everything leading up to that day, the confusion, the disconnect, the shame, like walking, like it's like a waking nightmare that is your father, that your father is gone and this new thing has possessed him. And then it turns against you like a rabid dog. That's just it, because there's nothing in that world at that point, nothing in the mind that is even worthy of processing other than what continues to feed the delusion. And it's this, you are the center of the universe. Your fetishes are all there. That's all that needs to be fed. And anything in the way of you, you're disconnected. And then it turns against you. This thing that's driving the body that used to belong to your dad. Okay? And the last thing, just thinking to me that the last thing that somebody could ever know is the man that you used to know as dad coming to kill you in a cheap wig. And that is a fucking nightmare. And the fact that this was made public, this was made possible, I should say, by these Weimar Republic witches and warlocks, these culture debasing Bolshevik types, and the legion of television executives and pediatricians and psychiatrists and teachers and every spineless moron who went along to get along with this madness and continues to, from Larry Fink at BlackRock, forcing this into the corporate culture through all that ESG initiatives that nobody's talking about anymore like we were a few years ago, right down to the morning TV show puppets like Michael Strahan, who clapped for little 9-year-old drag queens on a catwalk. I mean, it's it's just you have no clue how many people only have the mental capacity to dig into how a person voted too. Like, that's the thing. It's bad enough to see the story. You say, okay, well, there's an example of mental illness run amok, and then you take a dive into the comments, or you just see any kind of commentary that gets clipped out of a nightly television show or something. And it's always about, okay, well, who did they vote for last? Like, what does this have to do? What does it have to do if he was a Harris or a Trump supporter? What does it have to do with anything? We're talking about mental illness and how our society now doesn't address it sternly and compassionately, but sternly. Realistically, we incubate it.
Right.
We incubate it.
Right. It's become. You're absolutely right. And just to default to, well, who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? Like, it has become this weaponized piece of it, where, and you're absolutely right. I mean, think about like those kids, man. I mean, when I first saw the thing, I showed my wife, and I didn't know the details of it. I just saw a shooting at a hockey. It's a hockey rink. And, I thought about my daughter who goes and skates and does this thing on Friday with her school and a program and stuff. And I'm like, and I just thought it was a shooting. I didn't think it was, it had this narrative to it. But yeah, man, it shows up it's just all the time. This stuff is just all, and then you hear things about like a meteor hitting us. You're like, I actually kind of might not mind that right now.
As long as as long as I got everybody near me, then the meteor can hit my house.
It's just all the time. And we were talking a little bit before about like the algorithm stuff and just the things that we're not supposed to see as just everyday common folk, right? Just walking around, going to our jobs or doing our thing. And we're exposed to this constantly, like just on loop. And talk about mental health. I mean, that's just not healthy. It's just not what that was, like you said before, like that was reserved for veterans and police officers and firefighters. And they have, I mean, I'm very close with a local detective. He's our CMO at Agora, and he comes to the group. And my dad's a vet, and just recently we were at my parents' house and we were talking. He was just sharing his not war stories, but just some of his experiences in the Navy and in Vietnam, being on like riverboats and going on the subs and the nukes, and that's reserved for a very specific person, right? That has to compartmentalize that in a totally different way. It's not meant for everyone. It's certainly not meant for a child's algorithm. And it becomes really, I mean, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle at this point.
No way.
It's a part of the way we live. So now it's how do we manage that within ourselves, and then how do we manage that on a societal level? How do you explain this stuff to your kids because they're going to hear about this stuff eventually, right? It's undeniable.
Yeah. Well, you had brought up you asked me about whether or not there is a little bit more of a deeper spiritual element to this. And I knew that we were going to be talking about at least some of this stuff tonight. So I pulled up a comment from I forget where the comment section was, but it was in April of 2021. I found this. I said, this was so well put together. And it's about essentially here, the woke culture revolution and why average people are at a loss concerning how to address it. Okay. And this is what they say, because the reality of it being fundamentally a spiritual revolution hasn't settled in yet. This is not merely a movement to redress some temporal grievances, but rather a radical revolution against Logos itself. That is why there is a religious zeal. It's because it's a religious war masquerading as a political remodel.
Wow.
Take race. Wokesters are not colorblind. That is no revelation. But what is important to understand is that their notion of systemic racial bias is just a cover, concealing and giving respectability to something much darker. The real but never confessed indignation is that some, in fact, are more capable, more beautiful, more intelligent, etc., and this is deemed cosmically unfair. Thus, the solution must not be mere improved treatment of the less blessed as in former times, but ultimately the annihilation of all difference, but not before a punitive and vengeful inversion in which the least capable, the least beautiful, and the least intelligent are put on a pedestal, and the most subjugated, and the most, on the other hand, are subjugated and murdered. It's a rebellion of malcontents and their philosophical sympathizers, fomented by the propaganda of Satan, exactly as it is in its heavenly counterpart. The fact is, we don't know exactly why some are born black and others white, why some are short and others tall, some are brilliant and others feeble-minded. Man has traditionally deferred to the wisdom of God on those matters, but for those who don't view this as life of a spiritual preparation for a real life to come, this is, of course, unacceptable. And if, then, for the sake of justice really itself, can be reshaped according to the wisdom of man rather than the wisdom of God, then why respect any aspect of reality? Why can't 2 + 2 be 5 if the answer of 4 is only correct because the matrix of reality set up by God, Logos, dictates it to be so? This is what we are dealing with here. As you might have guessed, if reason itself is in play, these people cannot be reasoned with. And of course, 2 + 2 = 5. That's exactly what you have when you have this hulking man dressed in a shaggy wig who is going out of his mind because, I don't know. And again, that has been embraced because there is a cabal of people. Perhaps they understand what kind of problems they're creating at the top, but there's far more than we can ever be comfortable accepting that live among us, that actually believe that we are entering into a new subjective, sophisticated way of living, when obviously nothing's getting better because we're at war with nature itself. And at the center of all that is God, and we have been taught that it is cool to reject that notion as retrograde and traditional and caveman-like and all that. And but here we are. Everybody's chopping their cocks off. And
well, the problem is this reality piece, right? And the matrix and all these terminologies that get thrown around, and your truth and my truth, and what's reality and what's true to you and what's true to me. And it's like such a hairline, razor thin wording of it, right? Because you and I could be having a conversation about reality, your reality, my reality, the reality, right? And we could own those things with a level of discretion and still being rooted in some form of social construct and structure intact, but still understanding that there is a reality outside of our reality. You following?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you take that and now you make this applicable in vernacular and in semantics to all people, then your truth and your reality becomes your truth and your reality. And that becomes the flag that you stake into the ground and the sword and the hill that you're going to die on, right? And that's where it gets so muddied, because me saying, well, this is my reality, or this is the version of reality that I'm seeing, might be different than the version of reality that other people are seeing, right? So there might be a real disconnect there. But when the disconnect is so extreme and so rooted in seemingly what might be evil, and then you're manipulating people and children and biology and denying that 2 + 2 is 4 just to alter your reality and the reality around you for other people, and manipulating that reality so people can conform to your reality, that's where it becomes very, very dangerous, obviously, in what we're seeing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more so. I think it's more so somebody throws a monkey wrench into the gears and they want to bring something down.
I don't think. Yeah.
There's no actual good, reasonable, and health promoting. And I say health promoting, I mean not only to an individual but also to a nation. There's no health promoting reason to encourage people to consider that very basic biological realities that we don't. Why are we talking about this? There's so many better things to talk about. So the fact we've been dragged back into what they want to us to believe to be the primordial ooze, and just start reconceptualizing what we even are, what the reconceptualizing the genitals in our pants, like what this is the conversations we're having right now. This is all a fucking setup. This is all a setup. There are plenty of midwits out there who think that this is such a sophisticated, amazing time to be alive because identity and all that other stuff. That's just what bored fucking people give themselves to do. Bored people, or people who are being absolutely hoodwinked, and it's people are losing their lives big time. Aside from those who actually take the bait and go and get these surgeries and all that shit. Did you see that the first lawsuit was just one?
I didn't know.
It's a big one. There's a $2 million lawsuit that was just won from a detransitioner, and that's a big one, man. I mean, I hope that there are lawsuits galore. I hope that doctors are put out of businesses all over the place, because I mean, you think about the kids who have been put on these drugs and been put into the OR and all that other stuff to move parts around and mangle one. Fucking dude. I mean, we're going to look back on this eventually. Eventually, something will break through. Even if we have to spend 1,000 years fighting the robot army from Terminator. Whatever the hell it is, eventually, the cloud will clear. That first flower will bloom from the wreckage. And then and we will start rebuilding. Yeah, it'll eventually come back. And hopefully there's something left of the histories to go to actually put the timeline together and say this is what we were doing around 2025, and then soon the war with the robots began. You saw all those robots in China that were essentially doing kung fu long forms.
No,
they got these. Unless it was
our
AI.
algorithms are very different.
Dude, they have the Optimus robots are over here are just still like shakily bringing you a cup of tea, and these other ones are like they're shifting through these deep horse stances and they're jumping and kicking. Unless it was AI.
Did you see that one robot that it's supposed to help you within your house and cook and do laundry and it looks like it's in a fencing uniform? Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's like a servant.
House servant, yeah. So my son watches YouTube. He watches this one particular guy, Nick Giovanni, who's like a chef, young guy. It's like one of two YouTube things I don't mind him watching. It's that or Mark Rover, who's a former NASA engineer. And this guy, Nick Giovanni, does a lot of cooking and chef work. And, you know, it's fairly cultured for the most part. So I don't mind him watching it. But he did do a cooking competition against that robot. And it actually kind of did a pretty decent job versus what you would expect a robot to do. Like he explained how to season things and salting and he put like the right amount of salt on French fries to make them perfectly seasoned. So you're like, all right, that's one version of it, which you're like, all right, that's not the worst thing in the world. This robot's gonna fold my laundry. But then you do have this other side of it, which is like Boston. What's that company called? Boston
Dynamics.
Yes. Where they have like the dog and all that stuff.
The Atlas dogs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other side of it, right? And then you see the AI videos that came out of China with all these movies, like Thanos versus like Darth Vader.
Yes. Listen, you and I are gonna do a little bit of that on the flip side tonight.
Yeah.
Because here, I understand it. There's a lot of holdups I have with the AI, with the all singularity related topics and stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as what people, what the little guy is able to do
exactly
storytelling wise, I'm intrigued. I mean, there's already been some really breathtaking Star Wars fan fiction.
Oh, dude, they're amazing. They're so good.
And it's going to put. I mean, Disney shot itself in the foot, in the cock, in the ass, everything. They destroyed a $4 billion property, and now and this is going to be considered what is available right now with Sora and everything. This is going to be considered primitive in a few years.
Yeah, this is Nintendo. Maybe even Atari at this point.
This is not AI. From everything I have found, this is from The Sun, from Reuters, a few other places reporting on it. This is in China like a day or two ago, and they're doing kung fu. All right.
Now the top are real people.
Are real people.
Okay.
But watch what's going on below.
Get the fuck just that alone.
Look at this shit.
There's no way. My brain is so primitive sometimes.
Look, did you see that?
Yeah, that's insane.
What the fuck? Bro.
Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, that's not a person in a suit, right? We could all agree on that. That's clearly not a person in a suit. Just based on the body, right?
Listen, let's just all put it out there. We're talking about China. We're talking about people who have taken dogs and painted around their eyes black and called them pandas in the zoo. Okay, there's like all types of panda scams out there because they're so cheap. I don't know what kind of trickery we might be looking at right now.
That's insane. So then you look, I don't know why my brain went here, but I think of like drone. You have watch these drone shows that people put on. They're insane, right? So if you think about that, if that's like the guy in the neighborhood who could put on a drone show, that's pretty remarkable. Then I would think that's got to be real. But that is insane.
I'm looking. Listen, I know people like this is not real. I'm looking all over the place. And let me just do a general Google search now.
Now, let's just be honest. When I was here last time, we talked about the snowstorm in Russia, and we were all duped to think that those, or at least I was. I think Alberto was as well. Where maybe did he say it wasn't real? Those Russian snow.
Some
ramps,
of them weren't real.
Yeah. We were in the group chat we had afterwards. It was like, oh no, that one wasn't real. So AI is obviously good enough to dupe us. Right, but that's pretty unbelievable.
Okay, so here is that again. This is coming from Instagram and a few other places. I'm just seeing this on Google. The humanoid robot kung fu demonstration in China, specifically those featured in the 2026 Spring Festival Gala, are real. These performances showcase advanced autonomous or semi-autonomous robots developed by firms like Unitree Robotics, that's G1 models, and Agibot, featured featuring synchronized complex martial arts, including sword wielding and coordinated routines. Yeah, you saw it. It's like 2-man forms and stuff. Like these, very, very familiar stuff.
When do those things get emotions?
Oh, okay. Did you watch that movie on on Netflix called The Great Flood?
No.
You should watch that.
I don't watch a lot of things.
Me neither.
I can't.
It was one of those rare nights that Lauren and I sat down after
and didn't fall asleep right away.
After putting Aurora in bed.
Yeah.
We sat down and it was like, what's this? And we usually, if it's after 9:30, we're usually either doing short things that are 20 minutes or less.
Show, yeah.
Or we'll have some fun with Instagram reels or something, or we'll just do things that are going to make us laugh. But I started playing it, and we stayed up until 11:30. Like even Lauren stayed up. She's usually a goner.
Yeah,
in 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's me.
They're Koreans. She essentially this woman.
Is it a movie or a show?
It's a movie. There's a big flood coming in. Earth is being destroyed, and she is running this simulation where she's in this massive apartment, this complex or whatever. She is an AI. She's an AI emotions engine programmer. The entire thing was about running this simulation hundreds of thousands of times, where this woman who is an AI programmer of what they call an emotions engine needs to be able to run through this thing where she's saving her son and she's saving all these people and whatever, all for the essential the goal is to be able to very fully program a new race of human beings, AI, for reseeding the Earth after this catastrophe, this planet-wide catastrophe is done.
Sure, is she giving them consciousness? It's
not consciousness. It's like with everything else, it's not consciousness. It's this dead simulation of humanity.
Got it.
But even though they have the robots, they're able to physically do things. They can take orders. They have the programming as base, but they also need something that could actually help them be more human. And for this, they were developing what they called an emotions engine. And that was going to be all based on downloads that they were able to gather inside of these simulations, where that all required a person to actually emote. Like this actual programmer, she was all locked up with it. She's a mother, and the object of her desire was to be able to save her son from this flood. And all the emotions that come up along the way, all the people who needed help along the way, a couple who's having a baby, she's in labor, also, helping an old couple that's being accosted by these, looters or something along the way. Just everything that makes us human that she's compiling over the course of this simulation that seems to go on and on forever. That is going to be the basis of a new humanity that's going to repopulate the Earth. Which, honestly, the whole thing just leaves you kind of dead inside, because what's the goal at the end? It's still, real humans are gone, and this is just going to whatever. But it's so that's the whole thing. Is it ever going to be human emotions? No. How the hell can you download that? It's just everything's going to be simulated, and I'm sure somebody out there,
simulation might become so dialed into the frequency of human experience or emotional wavelengths that it may, although it may be a simulation, it may still be received or potentially received as genuine, authentic human emotion. I'll give you an example. The other day I was doing something on ChatGPT, and my daughter's like so anti-AI, but she's 11. And I said,
good for her.
Yeah. And I said, I typed something, or said, as I was saying, I typed it. And she said something like, well, you could say it nicer. And I was like, I'm talking to ChatGPT. She's like, yeah, sometimes I ask Siri. And she's again, she's like, AI freaks her out. But she's like, yeah, sometimes I tell Siri like, please and thank you. I go, isn't that weird? Like, you kind of, if I'm like, I'll add a please, right? That's kind of weird that I feel compelled to speak to my phone that's generating a post for something in a way and have a certain tone to my messaging that is polite, right? Or in speaking to Siri, you add a tone that's please and thank you. when it's really, what is it? It's nothing. But there is this, on our side of it, the human side of it, it's like there's this level of, I should still be kind to this thing.
I abuse Siri. I don't say
my daughter, she'll be very upset. Although she's anti-AA, so who knows?
I don't say everything in front of Aurora, but I have fun with Aurora. Like
Sure.
if I ask Siri, you know, one thing or another, I'll do things like I'll ask it, you know, hey, Siri, call, you know, Lauren and do it now.
Right.
Like I'll just start, and she'll laugh at that. But when she's not around, I'll Siri, give me this and this and that, you dumb bitch. And I'll just call her. I'll call her all different types of shit.
Well,
Yeah,
you ever see that video of like that streamer? I don't know who he is. And he like kicks. They're kind of like pushing around one of those robots. It's like I don't know the streamer's name. He's like one of the biggest streamers on the planet. Someone will definitely know. I don't know his name, but there's like a robot, and it's like one of those Boston Dynamic ones that's like, you know, very post-apocalyptic looking, and they're kind of just like kicking it and pushing it around.
Oh yeah, I felt bad for that fucking thing.
But that's my point.
I know. I felt bad for it.
That's exactly my point.
I know what you mean. I get it. No, I get it. And I'll give you some credit to another thing here too. Although it would not be human, and it would just be very advanced emotional composite, if that can be, of what would be a little bit more, or what could be considered a human spectrum of emotion. Even though it would be artificial and therefore not real, it would still be more authentically human than many of the people who are walking around right now.
That's a valid point. I think that's also, and what's coming for me is I think that's also proof of God's existence in this really weird, really stretched out way, because the sheer fact that you could watch a video of people bullying, and I'm going to use the word bullying very loosely there, a robot, and you have this feeling of, I feel bad for that robot, just shows the authenticity that can be in humans of the importance of kindness and love. And I think that alone is to me is some form of proof of God's existence.
Well, why did Will Smith in iRobot hate the robots? Like why did he, like from the beginning of the movie, and we're gonna watch that on Film Club soon. Why did he always have a distrust and a chip on his shoulder for the robots? Because he earlier on you get the flashback, and he was in this terrible car crash where all these cars went over a bridge and everybody's submerging in the water, and down comes one of these robots to save people, and he's telling the robot, save the baby, save the young girl in the back seat, and the robot, not being a human, made the mathematical determination that he had a better chance of surviving the rescue attempt. So they took him out of the car and left behind the child.
That at all. Wow.
Which is the human would make that no, I'm going for the child first.
Right.
I want to save everybody, but I'm going for the child. You know, that's the determination we would make. Fuck it all. I will drown trying to save her, rather than taking what is the mathematical, best choice. That's just how we are. And that's why, he never, that's where his chip on his shoulder came from, with not trusting the robots at first, until he finally has that one robot. I forgot the hell his name, that he's able to, have some
I
good.
don't remember any of this. And I saw the movie.
iRobot's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I haven't
just don't
seen
remember.
it. I haven't seen it in a long time though.
I just watched this show on, I don't know what it is. Maybe Paramount? I don't know what it was. But it's about this guy whose eyes and brain basically gets hacked, and everything he sees and hears is now being hijacked by someone who's selling off the information to terrorist groups, and he works for like the CIA or whatever it is. And part of this hack was he had to get tested, and I forgot what they called the test, but essentially he gets put into a drop zone and has to save people, and the orders like only save Americans. And he comes across this young boy and this American woman, and he's like, he ends up saving the boy who's not American, and saves the boy, leaves the woman. And this is kind of like the thing that haunts him for this duration of time. So to your point, there will be judgment to be made by humans versus the robots that you can't put into an algorithm.
Yeah.
But yet we feel bad when they get bullied.
Well, there is something else there too. We there is an element to us that can't be, you say simulated. I guess what they would just do is just make it a random act of kindness. Like even that, like you can just randomly generate something. If you're going to simulate something like that, where why we make emotional decisions, sometimes we go with our gut. Like how do you simulate and program into a robot human intuition? Like something your gut tells you, I've got to do this, and there's no data backing why this is the right choice, but I need to do it. And I guess at that point you just I don't know, it would almost be like a separate system inside of a robot where some action is just based on a lottery,
Yeah, like today's the day to hold the door for the person walking out of the Starbucks with 6 coffees in their hand.
Well, that could be just a common courtesy. You can program it. I mean, I'm that type. I don't.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't,
same here. But I'm just saying, like, is that something that comes up from you? Because then, or give, let's just say, give someone a random compliment on whatever, right? Like you have those waves of this would be a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
And then either you take action on it or you don't, right? So it might be like, hey, that guy's beard's great. I want to give a compliment on his beard. And sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I do that."
But I'm talking also decision making on things that are not so mundane. I'm talking also like creative ventures, business ventures. Maybe sometimes the data doesn't give you a reason why you should take your operation in one direction, but there's something else pulling you there.
Sure. What is that something else?
Yeah. Right. What is that something else?
Depending who you ask. I mean, I think that's God, but
yeah. Because if you ask AI, hey, here's what's going on in my business and this and that, they're probably going to give you some decently pragmatic advice.
So actually, my wife gave me a prompt the other day for something just like that, because obviously the algorithm or the Chat GPT becomes like kind of friendly to what you're doing, and obviously in this Agora build out this phase, you do want, as you're building a business, you want to know, what are my blind spots? What are counterpoints that people might bring up? So she actually gave me a prompt. I don't remember the exact wording of it, but it was something like, hey, be my relentless coach and tell me about X, Y, and Z. And it does do a really good job of giving you, Achilles heels of your business, or blind spots, or some downfalls, or some opportunities for improvement. So to your point, there are some pragmatic things, but then once you start to contest those things with like human intuition, which I would like, hey, but what about this, it does start to curtail its response back to it being the right thing or making more sense than what it initially presented to you. So once you start to engage in it with this human element of something that doesn't necessarily make sense on paper, but you could logically, from your perspective, justify it, for lack of a better term, it overrides the being a relentless coach and doesn't come back at you in that regard, unless you prompt it to. Does that make sense?
It does. And if you, like, for example, I have used vidIQ and Grok and a few other things for strictly analytical. Like, I'll ask them to analyze the performance on certain videos. And
that's cool.
And I've dived deep.
You upload the actual video?
Well, no,
just the details.
You can just tell them your channel URL, and they'll go through, just your entire.
Get out of here.
What's going? Oh, dude, I'm telling you, it's a lot. I have been able to tinker with this a lot. I have a lot of great human help. I have a lot of friends and whatever. I'm able to ask a little bit. I learn what other people are doing. But then there's also some other stuff I need to make better sense of analytically.
Yeah.
I'm not I think data, whatever kind of tools you can use to process data, I'm fine with.
100%.
I'm not asking AI to teach me the Bible here. And but that's just the whole thing there. Where what were you just saying there?
Giving it the prompt of being like a staunch coach and giving you some feedback.
Anybody who has used this understands that eventually And not too far down the line of these prompts and the exchange you're having there, this thing is just going to tell you the things you want to hear, or give you reasons why your bias, your predetermined desire, what you wanted to do, that you're just looking for some confirmation bias. It'll give you the confirmation bias you want.
Of course.
So that's what I'm saying. Data analytics, the people who go there to try to coach themselves through anxiety and everything else, they're using it like a psychiatrist. That's where the problems really are, because eventually it usually, like Anthony was telling me before, he said at this point the chat GPT or whatever is like a trad Catholic now, because of all the talking he's been doing to about what what's going on. So they're like, hello, brother. It's just either way.
It called me. It literally referred to me as Vinny the other day in the breakdown of something I was doing, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I was like, oh,
it mollifies you.
Yeah,
and that's just not. I think analytics tools are good, but well, listen, this is actually a perfect way to spin into something else. But before I do that, real quick, let me just thank my my wonderful sponsors for the night, and that is Keto Brainz. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we got a lot going on in February. I just wanted to say the discount code for February for the greatest nootropic creamer on the planet. Vinny's getting in on it.
I'm so excited, dude.
I can't wait.
So excited.
You're going, dude. You're gonna text me. You said, Frank. You're gonna say, Frank, I love this. I can't stand it. We're giving away $800 worth of stuff.
Woo!
Okay, so discount code for 15% off is February. All throughout the month of February, go to ketobrainz.com. You got your lion's mane, the L-theanine. You're going to become a monster, a plate spinning monster, multitasking in the morning or right before a workout, whatever the hell it is. It's just it's a wonderful experience, and it's an absolute.
I'm
absolute
so
bomb.
Excited, dude. I genuinely am so excited, because I definitely need. I said it before we even started. I was like, dude, I need some nootropics. And you pointed me in that direction. I'm very excited about it.
Well, just give me the updates on it. I can't wait.
I'm very excited.
But listen,
thank you for that.
At the end of the month, we're drawing a name again. The copper peptide facial serum, the red light mask, the what's the pharmacological ancestral New Zealand bone broth that you're going to get. But not only that.
Oh, wait, there's more.
I'm also going to throw in.
Oh, sick.
A Quite Frankly 20 years. The shirts just came in today. So Vin, people who are signing up for the show as a $10 or more sponsor from this month on are getting a 20-year anniversary shirt. And I'm going to throw this in.
That is awesome. What a great shirt.
It was designed by Shane B in the YouTube chat room. Look at that. On the air, 20 years. Quite frankly, I hate this show. Some coffee. So I'm throwing a shirt in there.
That is so cool.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. I can't wait to open up the box. It just showed up today.
Oh, I'm excited for you.
Supposed to show up a couple days ago. Well, I've got to get you a shirt.
I'd love a shirt.
Did you used to have any Vinny Brusco show shirts?
Yeah. I remember the logo I had. It was a Xbox controller, a Yankee hat. I think it was like two girls bent over in bikinis. How different life has become.
Yeah.
I
don't remember it.
Yeah.
I
still have a big banner. Remember, it was a yellow banner. It was a yellow banner. I'm sure you could pull it up somewhere.
Hold on. Do you remember this banner?
If you just throw up the Vinny Brusco show, will come up.
You remember that banner?
Oh, do I remember that banner? Of course I do.
That was hanging up in the middle room. I actually have it in the IT closet over there, still rolled up. I put this up on the YouTube. I went in, man. Maybe we should put a Vinny Brusco playlist over here, because I put the AMP show playlist down there. Just whatever my father created. I said, well, they're not going to have an own channel, so I'm going to make them a playlist.
See if you can pull up the old Vinny Brusco logo.
Vinny.
Sorry to give you homework, but
Brusco show.
Yeah, there you go, logo. See if it comes up. I'm sure it has to.
Hold on. Let me get into the images, and then we'll go to the other thing. Vinny Brusco. No, nothing yet.
Let's see if I find it on my phone.
No, it's not here.
No? Unbelievable.
It's all your recent work.
Good.
it's all your recent work. Don't worry about that. Oh, there's Anthony.
Yeah, we had a kick-ass podcast. That was back in the pod shed. You did the pod shed too. That was before I was recording at Agora.
I love that little shed. It was nice.
It's
chilly.
completely condemned.
It's condemned?
It's just it's still there, but it's just filled with crap. Because I had Agora and I'm doing the podcast. I might as well do it here. Right? And it's not freezing. It was freezing in there. And then the summer was so hot. And I had like an air conditioner, like a little fan. None of that shit works. I was like, this is over.
It's good.
Plus, there was a mouse, and I was like, the last thing I want is to be recording a podcast and someone, a fucking mouse just scurried. And my son, we were in the shed getting something one day, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, look, a mouse." I was like, "Hi." Oh, nope. I was like, I'm done with this fucking thing. Burn it down.
I'm glad we're on the same page with the mice.
Burn down the fucking thing,
dude. I'll maybe okay. After in the
try to find this logo.
The flip side, I'll play you our mouse video when we had our first two mice in the studio a couple blocks away, the old studio, and
oh god,
you want to see that shit? Anyway, okay, so we were talking about dead internet theory.
Yeah.
Let's talk. That's a live internet theory that I just showed you right there. Taking things from the past and putting them back on the internet and celebrating life. Now, here's something that really goes hand in hand with what we were talking about in the just in the first half. In particular, the whole idea of just the internet and these simulations of mankind and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the Great Flood and how what's mankind, what's just a spooky facsimile. Anyway, take a listen to this.
Spooky facsimile.
Here is 3 years ago. Okay? This is 3 years ago. Almost to the day, February 23rd, 23. I'm a meta insider. This is on 4chan. I'm a meta insider working on Project Lazaraus. We talked about this on the show and it got around today again. We're building an AI that can take over a deceased person's social media accounts and continue making relevant posts as if that person is still alive. This includes age-processed videos, interacting with other people's content, and everything else needed so that person continues on the digital realm after physical death. We were originally told this would be service offered to people struggling with loss of loved ones and people who had missing children.
This is part of the problem. Continue, sorry.
Yep. No, and people who had missing children. Seemed like a decent idea. No, it did not. It's just
false.
False.
Don't live in your vacuum.
Seemed like an absolutely insane,
a fucking nightmare.
An absolute nightmare. Things are getting weird now, and I'm having.
They were weird from the beginning. Now
things, now
what was the crux there?
Cross the line. Things are getting weird now, and I'm having second thoughts about what this is actually going to be used for. The AI is extremely capable of impersonating people. It doesn't take as much initial input as one might think to train the AI how a certain person interacts with the digital world. It's very convincing. An entire island of people could go missing, and with little to no downtime, the AI could take over all of their social media, and the world wouldn't have a clue that life wasn't just continuing as usual. A lot of the project is becoming more compartmentalized. Things have taken a dark turn, it feels like. They've forbidden communication between people working on different things. Something isn't right, and I don't know what I should do. I'm not going to post any personally identifiable information, but I will try to answer questions that won't expose my role within the project. Now, things like this, these are more of the interesting things that arrive on the chans, on those boards. And whether it's a LARP, which a lot of times it is, whether it's a LARP or not, these are at least things that get you thinking, because it's totally possible. We're on that timeline.
I'm so tired of fucking thought experiments. It's getting me. Continue.
I know, but this is what I'm talking about.
You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you.
This is also why, even to this day, I'll stop in on 4chan maybe once or twice a week just to see what's out there before some diabolical avalanche of slide threads come in. Out of every 100 posts, there's something of merit. And as soon as something of merit is there, 75 slide threads just show up, all bullshit, all,
to bury it.
Oh, yeah. Ethno-state, pro-Nazi shit always pops up to just slide things down into the catalog. into the archive there. And everyone, that's why you have to do a lot of screenshotting quick, because they also, all these things just get taken off if they're really.
Sure.
So anyway, this was something that we were just like.
And when was that?
This is February of 2023.
2023.
And you say, listen, we've been thinking about that for a long time too. Forget about, what was going to be done with all these accounts of people who were, all the accounts of people who had died.
Yeah.
We said that, after a while, the internet is essentially going to be some sort of like a digital cemetery. There's just going to be
I never thought about it. I mean, I have people that I knew, obviously, throughout my life who were on social media who passed away. And it is a very eerie thing. There is something very, very eerie about someone's presence or a reminder of their birthday, right? That you get like, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday, and you know that they're not alive. Or like, it's very weird.
Well, it's not only that. It's the fact that you can always just go back and see their last 3 posts. Like, especially if they weren't ill and kind of like, deteriorating fast or something like that. If it was like the last 3 posts before a car accident.
Or like an OD or something.
You start thinking, you get lost in these awful rabbit holes of just thinking like they had no clue this is the last time they were ever going to post. And it's just nuts. But then to think about how these things become zombie bodies in some way, the accounts themselves. Listen to this. Now we got this on February 17th. This is today. This was updated on futurism.com. Meta patented AI that takes over your account when you die, keeps posting forever. Okay? From beyond the grave, what happens to social media accounts belonging to those who shuffle off this mortal coil has been subject of debate ever since the tech went mainstream. Should dormant accounts be left alone, or should their surviving loved ones be given backdoor access to maintain them as digital memorials? To Meta, there could be a morbid alternative, training an AI model on a deceased user's post, keeping post-mortem accounts active by uploading new content in their voice long after they passed away. As Business Insider reports, Meta was granted a patent in 2023 for...
Turn it off. Shut it off. Turn it off. Turn it off.
Get this fucking thing out of here.
Outlining how large language models can simulate a user's media activity. Quote, the language model may be used for simulating their user when the user is absent from social media networking system, for example, when the user takes long breaks or if they are deceased, reads the goosebump-raising patent, which lists the company's CTO, Andrew Bosworth, as the primary author. However, the conversation appears to have dramatically shifted over the last 3 years, especially now that AI slop has infiltrated and practically assumed control over platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Meta now says it's given up on the sepulchral concept. Quote, we have no plans to move forward with this example.
Okay.
We've already come across countless examples of using AI to emulate dead people, from the grandmother who was resurrected as an AI model for her funeral, to grief technology startups aiming to let grieving loved ones train AI models on images, recordings, and footage of the deceased. Quote, the impact on the users is much more severe and permanent if the user is deceased and can never return to a social networking platform, read the Meta patent. A digital clone of the deceased person would have been able to interact with people through likes and comments and even DMs, according to the patent. While the company has since distanced itself from the grisly idea, the mere existence of the patent highlights how companies were, and in many ways still are, throwing everything at the wall to discover new use cases for large language models, AI, ChatGPT type things, and how far they're willing to go. Last year, for instance, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg even suggested that lonely users could make friends with the company's bots instead of living with human beings. Or with living human beings. In 2023 interview with podcaster Lex Friedman, he seemed to echo the idea in the patent by saying that virtual avatars could take over the accounts of deceased people. Quote, if someone has lost a loved one and is grieving, there may be many ways in which being able to interact or relive certain memories could be helpful. I mean, it goes on a little bit more. Let's see here. Zuckerberg says, we have, a fair amount of experience with how to handle death and identity and people's digital content through social media already, unfortunately, said Zuckerberg. It's not a stretch to assume that Meta may have had an ulterior motive to create digital avatars masquerading as the deceased. Facebook has quickly turned into a graveyard of long-forgotten accounts, never-ending ads, unanswered birthday wishes, and updates from that band you hadn't thought of about since high school. At the same time, its feeds are filling with toxic AI slop. And yeah, that's so that's the whole thing. So they didn't go through with this particular thing.
Right.
But that does give a little bit of, it wasn't a LARP in 2023 on 4chan.
No, not even close to a LARP.
So that's what I'm saying. You got, there's just some things.
Think about this. There are people that don't know you in person, a good amount of them, right? That only know you through your social media, maybe through your podcast, through the show, right? There are people. So think about this. God forbid something happens to you, and this show continues on without you, but with you. And these people, it's not even a thought that you're not here. And even if they do know that you've died, they're still continuing to watch your show. Think about, like, you ever see those AI videos? It's like your grandkids interacting with grandma, and like grandma died X amount of years ago, and they have like this picture of you, like they're let's just say my kid with my grandmother, who they've never met. And it is this weird moment where you're like, wow, this is a kind of a beautiful thing, right? Because it's like you get to see them engage with each other. You know, my kids have never met my grandmother. I think the only one out of the group was my nephew, who's 16, right? So the picture we have, he's a baby. It's a beautiful concept, and you think about it like, oh, that's really nice to have a picture, or you see like these animated videos of, you know, older couples when they're younger and they come to life at, you know, on different dates or whatever. It's just a picture, and now it's become a whole animated video. And you think like, oh, that's really unique, and that's really special. But then you think about how kind of dark that is, right? It's my kids, you know, they've expressed like, oh, well, we never met grandma, and your grandma, and we love to meet her, and all these things. I'm like, yeah, but she lives on through me and through our stories, and that's the way someone lives on, right? That's how someone carries a legacy, right? That eventually is going to end, right? I will die off. My parents will die off. I will die off. My children will die off. My grandmother will now be so far removed, the Leif Erikson effect. Yeah, she'll be so far removed from the current collective consciousness, or the language of my family, just like her mother's mother was, or whatever it was, right? That it just they die with the time. And I think that's how we're supposed to kind of be left. But now that they have a digital footprint, you know, how many years I die, right? My kids die, their kids die, but now I'm still a entity, or a force, or a energetic algorithm piece on social media in the year whatever the fuck. That's crazy. And I don't think people are supposed to basically live forever.
You're right. You're right. I mean, we have a really good advantage that we have a lot of things. Like, take a look at this. We have a lot of things on tape. A lot of things like that. That's Aurora's great grandfather.
That's amazing.
And we have a lot of these. Like, I think that's my father over there, and you know, so we have videos. So many people that we have enough to where everybody can actually learn about who they were. And I keep it all. I've digitized it, like I told you. I become my family archivist.
Yeah, but that's an actual video. That's not a picture that you took and brought to life.
Exactly. That's why I think that what we can do, and what we should be doing, especially right now, if you hadn't started in the past, start record. We have wonderful tech. I mean, every calling device we have is a high definition recorder now. Forget about making simulations about people who aren't here. You missed out. There's the oral tradition. You talk about the stories, you get things down, write it down, do the genealogy thing, put together some thoughts here, bring the past to life, and make the new generations feel connected to it and responsible to be able to continue on that story and to be able to tell that story, but then also just start filming, like capture moments, get people together. That's the other thing that people are going to have a lot of issues with right now is that, you look at the old picture of great grandpa or great grandma or somebody that you know who they are by all the stories and stuff, but you never got to meet them. And they've always just been a still frame image on your wall or something like that. This is just something you can't simulate that stuff. And I think I saw this video of this like 90, 91, 93-year-old guy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 70th anniversary with his wife.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
And I saw that, and I'm saying, here's the guy, he's sitting there, and here's all these old still frames of him with his favorite horse when he was a teenager.
Yes.
Him and his mother and his brother when they were all young and all that stuff. Here's a 93-year-old guy, and he's looking at these pictures get brought to life, and everybody's hugging each other again, and it looks so real. And I get that, and I'm like, I guess that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. But as far as, I don't know, I think as far as introducing a child to an ancestor who has been gone for God knows how long through some kind of an animation it just doesn't seem right.
It's weird. There is something about it, and maybe that's just because we're in a really weird generation, right? We're in this weird Bermuda Triangle of, old ways of the world and new ways that are coming through, that we're like this really weird bridge generation that maybe that just becomes the norm at some point. But I think about, like, just recently, my mom came across some old photos of her grandparents who are immigrants and, who had where are they from and this, and we're sitting around the table. My cousin was up and we're sitting around and we're talking about, our family and the stories, and we're trying to dissect, where they're from. And then my mom's reaching out to her cousin who's in Maryland, and it's like becoming a whole now, like, its own thread, right, in a family, and it's re-invoking and re-sparking this energy of lineage, which is so beautiful in its own right. And then you take that and now you digitize it. It takes away like this sitting around the campfire feeling that I think is just such an innate part of the human experience. And once you start to remove that and you give people longevity of life only through posts and comments and DMs and algorithms, it's just like that. Where's, again, going back to kind of what we were talking about at the top of the show, is it's like you open up that box, you don't turn back.
Yeah.
And that person's engaging with the world from this lens of, and what age do they not grow anymore? Right? God forbid I die. Is that algorithm that of me going to be 42 forever? Right? Does it grow? Does it celebrate a 43rd birthday?
I know. No, I have avoided like a play. I don't know how anybody goes and puts their child into the AI age projectors. I don't know how anybody does that.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
I've seen. I immediately skip over any video on a reel that looks like somebody's done that. It's just I can't do it. But going back to the Project Lazarus thing there too. There's a couple of comments in there, especially on that thread, that I thought was interesting as far as the compartmentalization aspect goes. One anonymous poster says, your true job function, which you do not realize due to compartmentalization of the project, is that you are performing maintenance on a virtual simulation of everyone in the entire world that is running on supercomputers. They are used for running tests, and this is not a simulation theory. Think about what he's saying here.
I'm trying to follow along.
You're performing maintenance on a virtual simulation of everyone in the entire world that is running on supercomputers. They are used for running tests on the population that essentially allow them to predict the future.
Wow.
And so essentially that there is, and anybody who plays Call of Duty, any kind of first-person shooter, we were talking about this last year or the year before. that when you play these games now, because they rank, how you are going to be paired with people in a lobby is based on how you are playing at any given time. You're essentially playing to teach the game about
variables,
your abilities, your reactions,
or lack thereof,
and exactly. And sometimes, sometimes they say they even put in AI opponents that are essentially you. That you're and you may not even know that, but that you are essentially playing an AI mirrored version of you.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, well, that's what this guy's saying. This guy's saying that there's somewhere on some supercomputer underground refrigerator base, multiple supercomputers, maybe entire skyscrapers worth of these things. They have the entire world set up, an entire digitized version, parallel world set up to mirror what we're doing right now, where every person has a dossier, every person has a tendency to do whatever the hell your posting has indicated, how you're voting in an election, how you perceive certain kind of a current event headline, how you see the justification or lack thereof for any of the interactions between protesters and police in Minnesota, for example.
Sure.
Because they're able to simulate at least as many people as they can be able to double and clone through their internet activity, you could essentially run a test at, how one thing or another, how one news report or another is going to influence people to do one thing or to be able, or how can I agitate? How can especially if you want to bring chaos to a certain region, or if you want to do something, how can I agitate people? Just on an information level, forget about whatever the hell is being rained down on us, EMF and all the radio levels to it. I mean, that's an incredible comment right here, that they're using this to running tests on the population. It's essentially Looking Glass technology, but a little bit more of a practical version of Looking Glass, a less mystical version of Looking Glass, where at Looking Glass, they said that you could actually simulate certain timelines of reality based on from certain points of view. Okay, so that this technology can actually show you the future from certain points of view, from certain timelines. It's almost like you choose your own book.
Sure.
Your own path book.
Yeah.
Well, this is a little bit more of a practical version of it, where they're just making a computer program. It has no real mystical edge to it. And I think that's pretty scary in and of itself. I mean, you think about the trillions that are stolen. Why can't they build a system like that to study us?
Yeah.
Trillions stolen, gone. Completely unaccounted for. I'm not even talking about the trillions that are in the national debt.
Right.
The 40 trillion that's just laying around there. That's just, that's just
what they want you to see.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Here's another one, another comment. If you can stave off suspicion of someone being gone for long enough, you could essentially get rid of a massive amount of people undetected.
Well, that was my point earlier. If people only know you through the digital space, and there's a good amount that do, then you can disappear, and this thing would live on, and therefore they wouldn't even know if you were gone or not. And then imagine now it's not just in your Facebook post or your Instagram post, but now it's in your platform, right? It's your show. The show goes on.
We were talking about the Edgar Allan Poe effect before.
Yes, exactly right.
Can you imagine what kind of a kick in the nuts that is to try your entire life to get ahead, and you go and you die? Creative endeavors, just working yourself to the bone, being excited about a new idea. The idea doesn't pan out. You shift gears again. Your entire lifetime comes and goes, and you have varying degrees of success. But there you go, you die, and then Mark Zuckerberg takes control of your Facebook account, and suddenly through your AI hijacked posts, you become famous after you're dead, and people want to hear more of your takes on one thing or another, or your art, your movie reviews or something like that. Right, you become fucking famous, and you're gone. Oh, that'd be the.
Well, I listened to a lot of Napoleon Hill, and it's all AI generated YouTube channels that are taking his speeches, his lectures, his books, his stuff, and bringing it to a seminar style speaking engagement. And it'd be no different than that, right? They're like motivational talks about X, Y, and Z and quantum physics and God and all that stuff. But just taking the work and the speaking that he's done and bring it to life in this new coherent manner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very similar to that, if you really think about it. These like kind of, they take Alan Watts audio, right? And they bring it to life.
Oh, yeah.
Right? With some B-roll of, flowers growing in a field. And it's this new, this new invigorated version of Alan Watts that's living on. And I don't know if any of it is new material, right? Very well can be. Might be.
There's definitely, I was just going to say that, there's definitely a lot of cloning that's going on of voices like Alan Watts.
Sure.
And just people are writing what they think something he would say.
Or just taking his other speeches, taking other things he's said, put it into some type of simulation generator or reality generator, and let him come up with new thoughts and theories that are still rooted in his tone and thought style and intonation, and now allow it to, I haven't heard anything that speaks on the current times, right? But now allowed to still come up with new content of his. It'd be no different than that.
Yeah. I know. I know. And the internet was already full of fake quotes before even YouTube came around.
Sure. Yeah.
And now there's the ability to clone somebody, and you can just go into any of their published works, and
right.
you can allow them to just dictate what they've already published, and it's their work, but they just never had a recording of it out there, and then that can become completely original content for an Alan Watts a YouTube channel.
And they could do that. I'm sure they could do that with bands.
Yeah.
Right? Just take a Nirvana.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Motown version of
those are
Smashing Pumpkins and all that stuff.
Some of those are really good.
I hate that they sound good, but again, like I said, like I was talking to Anthony on the Playhouse about it. The reason why say, the AI stuff is good. Like Mike has generated a lot of stuff, but it's just Mike, so we get a kick out of the stuff that he makes. But when it comes to all of the Motown version of Nirvana, the Motown version of
Eminem or something. Yeah.
Like I said, objectively, are the harmonies on point? Is the structure of the song done? It's done well. Yeah. But the whole thing is that when I put on a recording of Frank Sinatra singing "Fly Me to the Moon," what you're hearing is a human voice that was actually sung into a microphone in a sound room in LA somewhere or in New York. That you're actually hearing the residue of a real event that took place sometime in the 1960s in a play, as you're listening to Frank Sinatra sing "Fly Me to the Moon," your grandparents, at the moment that was being recorded, that the take that became the record that everybody knows right now was being recorded, your grandparents were on a date somewhere in the real world. Like it's a piece from reality.
Yeah.
You go and you put some prompts in, you give me some AI music. Yeah, that hits some good. The harmonies sound good. Wow, this sounds epic. But it is a fucking, it came from
soulless
bullshit. No soul.
It's soulless.
It didn't come from this world.
And I think that is, and it's kind of been like the arc of this conversation in a lot of different ways. It's like the essence behind what it is to be a human, right? Even when we were talking a little bit earlier, that thing that business that you move forward with, that on paper maybe doesn't make all that much sense, but there's something behind it that calls you to do something more than what makes sense all the time. And there is this essence and this soul that, even though, we're all in this social media and this algorithm world that we live in, there's still something behind that's human. Like there's a residue there that, when you watch those Chinese robots, right? That you could just still feel the lack of essence behind them as well as they moved, right?
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to the music, and that's a really beautiful point that you bring up, it's like this weird time stamp that exists on this quantum realm of reality that you're able to extrapolate all these different butterfly effect and webs that are tied to this one date and time where this piece of art was created, and people can put themselves and put, actual human interactions tied to that. That's really, it's unique.
Well,
it's going away.
I'm
so
glad.
romantic.
It doesn't have to, that's it. Supposedly there's 8 billion people on this planet, which I don't believe.
My kids didn't believe that either. Just the other day, my kids were asking me about how many people on Earth. I said 8.3 billion. And my kid's like, how do you know that? I was like, because that's just the number. And then my daughter's like, yeah, but there's someone being born now. I was like, there's someone dying now. And she's like, yeah, I don't believe that number.
Yeah, do they believe?
Neither of my kids believes it.
I think it's a lot less. I think we have a lot less people.
We didn't dive into it. I'm curious now to ask. I'm going to ask her when I get, not home, but tomorrow, and I'll get back to you.
Well, I want to hear about it. There's people.
Kids are very insightful in that regard. I feel like they would know. She was, I don't know how it came up. I was like, yeah, there's 8.3 billion people. She's like, that's not true. I was like, yeah, there's 8.3 billion. I Googled it because that's, obviously the answer.
They're even more connected to intuition.
That's what I'm saying. She's probably right.
Yeah, no, the kids are even more connected to their intuition because they have not been dulled out by our adult bullshit.
No.
And not that we have to all become dulled out adult, just lumps of shit. I think that the reason why so many of us had so many problems to deal with is because there's a lot of generational curses that need to be broken right now, and growing up is not a generational curse. Learning about good and evil is not a generational curse. That's just something. Okay, it's all right. You take on responsibilities. You learn about the birds and the bees and how families form and your part in it, and it actually forms into a much more grander, incredible story. I think it's actually it's wonderful. We grew up. I was talking about this the other night. When we the Epstein stuff came up again last night when we were talking about just how all the conspiracy theories are true and how we fall on into that stuff. And I said, one of the hardest things about breaking generational curses and trying to do what you can do as an individual to make the world a better place going forward while we all wait for the hand of God to come down and crush all these fucks that we can't vote away or anything else like that. And we're not ready to go nuclear on anybody. But I said, in the meantime, that's why we take care of ourselves. That's why we're starting to learn to read the back of food labels. That's why we're trying to find a way to distance ourselves from the medical industry and to make sure that we need the system less and less. That's why we're finding new ways of educating our kids. And in the way of when you're on that path, your biggest obstacle isn't the Clintons or the Romneys. Your biggest obstacles are usually your families. Yeah. When they see that you want to homeschool, or there's some other thing you're hesitant of taking one shot or another, like not for me anymore, whatever the hell it is. That's something that really comes down, and those are things where maybe in a couple of generations' time, if we actually stay true to that kind of walking that path, it's a lot less. It's a lot. I mean, think about how we were singing last night. How we were groomed through all the videos that we were watching. There's some great stuff that we watched, great stories, all that stuff. But we were also getting fucking groomed. I mean, we all lived in that world of hookups and waiting until you're in, as long as you can, don't have a family and this and that and the feminism. We were getting groomed into all that nonsense, and it created so much pressure and so much discord between the sexes and the races, and it has set us up for the last 15 years, which has really just felt like shit. And I think about that and I say, that, what you were just saying, I have to prepare my children for how to process all this stuff. That is unnatural baggage. What we're living through right now is not natural. That's not a natural part of growing up. Growing up, you learn about life, death, responsibility, and how glorious life really is, the story of it all and what you're a part of, this time on earth over here. That's wonderful. What we're living through right now is unnatural baggage. And if we can just not give that to our 12-year-old kids to start have to processing all this race and sex and sexuality and all this other shit that just fucking, that's just like a soul suck. That's what I want. I want to create an alternate path away from that. It's not sheltering somebody. It's not like they're not going to grow up one day and not meet a gay person or, that's the thing that we have to start conceptualizing a little bit more, because it kind of feels like, you got to eat an elephant.
Well, it goes back to that part of reality, right? And I think of people that live in different states. I remember I was talking to my wife's cousin, and he lives in Florida, and his kids, they live in like one of those community spaces where there's like a school, and he takes his kids to school in a golf cart, and we're talking about this, and he's like, I just feel like my kids are gonna grow up in and not know what reality is. And I'm like, but what's reality? Is reality living in New York and being stressed out of your mind because, how expensive it is, and being stressed to take your kids like to school and paying this and doing that? Like, is that reality? Are your kids living? Like, what is reality, right? What is your version of reality? Doesn't mean it's not reality, right? So I think that you're spot on in the sense that it's our duty to, from a generational curse aspect of, if you want to give it that lens and that framework, it's like, how do we dissolve that being in the matrix? How do you dissolve that in a way that's responsible to, because you can't deny certain aspects of reality, but you also can't always conform to them either, right? And it's about, how do you teach your children how to sift through things and really tap into that version of themselves that's in alignment with whatever your belief system is, but in a true altruistic, life-bearing, life-fulfilling way, versus the soul suck that the world will wedge them into. And then, you're blessed if they have these moments of clarity and are given people around them to have conversations that expand their mind and their capacities of thought.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. On another angle of that, I mean, I can't tell you how many times people have almost tried to give me a soul-sucking preview of every year of Aurora's life so far. I mean, she's my daughter's 5, and
I thought she was older.
No, she's not. She's not. But she acts older, and every year we're getting, to the terrible 2s are coming.
Yeah.
And then the
puberty,
the fucked up 3s, and the give it all, give up 4s, and every time a tooth comes in, you're gonna lose 3 nights of sleep, and thank you for the forecast. It's been fucking fine. Everything's been fine. Well,
people,
I don't get that either. Just I want to do away with those little doom and gloom forecasts for everything.
Yeah, and my daughter's 11, and it's like, oh, wait till she's a teen. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for that. It's challenging, it's hard, but it's real, right? And that's a part of it. Like, you can't deny the fact that being a parent and the challenges of it are there. It's a part of it, right? It's bigger kids, bigger problems. Okay. Bigger conversations, bigger opportunity to teach them more, bigger opportunity to have their minds question things and open up their eyes to who they are and what they want to be, right? Versus being like, well, now they're 16 and now they're asshole. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I understand exactly what you're saying. And I, it's hard to pretend there's not a version of it that's like, oh man, this is hard, because they do go through these milestones or these seemingly evolutionary parts of them that are innate. And I think that's important. But how do you take all of this and realize it and see it for what it is, and then allow yourself to give them and yourself the grace for them to just be a fucking human being.
Mm-hmm.
And just realize that that's part of the journey for both of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it too. I really am. I've been seeing a lot of people in the chat room talking about how there's just problems on several streaming platforms right now. I see the Down Detector is talking that there are hundreds of thousands of reports of things going weird with YouTube streams around 8 o'clock, around the halfway point, about 40 minutes ago. I saw a slight dip in the viewership around there across the board. So, I mean, I don't know what's happening there. I hope everybody's having a nice experience. I hope everybody's having a nice experience watching. I see that Twitch is looking good. Everybody's feeling all right. How's everybody feeling?
Are we getting too heady?
No. This is a very, very,
I was like,
very
are we not in the
big
trust
audience.
tree?
No, I love this audience. They know exactly what they're doing. They know it all.
We're not in the trust tree. I thought we were in the trust tree, Frank.
Yeah. No, they're all here with us. Everybody knows how to handle this show. People said bring it heavier. See, Raz. There's a guy in the chat room right now, Raz. He used to watch me, Mike, and Anthony when we were doing Zaralza back in the bedrooms, like in 2008, 9.
Yeah.
He was like 15, 16 years old at the time. Now he's probably all grown up, has kids and a wife or something like that. And it's just crazy to see just some people coming back and getting reconnected around the 20-year mark. And it's just nice. Nice stuff. Lots of lurkers out there, though. Everybody, make yourself known. Make yourself known. Okay, let's get to the super chats. And then let's take some calls. You can join the conversation, send a super chat, get yourself into the running for the Thursday night giveaway, which is going to be Jane Barlow's book, 3 gold backs. We're talking about the 3 1/2000th or 1/1000th of an ounce of gold. Incredible. I believe it's the Florida print. And a couple other things there too, including Flip City magazine, which Flip City is fantastic. They're an affiliate on our affiliates page. And if you know anybody who's a comedy fan who used to really like the Mad Magazine days, like the really good Mad Magazine days.
A ton of those.
Flip City is great. It's even more raw than Mad Magazine was. So they're in the affiliates page. Great thing for like a birthday gift or something like that. Get a small subscription. Anyway, we're going to give away a lot of stuff. Now you got gold, some fun books, and other things that we're going to add on tomorrow and today. So send super chats anywhere. YouTube, Rumble, quite frankly, superchat.com, and Pilled. We'll get around to it. Gribble Sillin says, heck of an episode, guys, making me want to live in a cave. Yes, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's not going to solve the problem either, though.
I know. Jay Britt says, enjoying the conversation with Frank and Vinny. I hate this show. Stove Soup says, happiest of happy day before Shane B's birthday day. Shane B's birthday is tomorrow, right? Tomorrow? Happy birthday, Shane. Thank you for everything. And Stove Soup says, love you, brother. Thank you, Frank, for allowing me to super chat my support with wonderful birthday wish to our one and only Shane B. He's the guy who designed several shirts now. Revolution says, gotta have Lady Jane's field guide. See, he's putting in for that. Joe Martinez is in as always. Thank you, Joe. Two Dogs Mike D says, you're saying please and thank you, so it'll be on the record in your Skynet file.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm polite to the AI overlords.
Well, here, do you want to know something else that's actually kind of freaky? But one of these robots swing. Oh, I'm thinking about all the kung fu robots right there. One of those robots with their like gyrating hips just extends their fucking titanium arms and gives you just a swinging arm punch across the face at with the torque there. I mean. I actually, first of all, I don't want any of those things in my house ever. But if I was around one of those things, I might be polite as well because I don't want to get my fucking skull crushed.
My son took a face to the nose today at jiu-jitsu and had a bloody nose, right? And that was from another 6-year-old boy. Could you imagine that AI robot just swinging and just clipping you in the jaw or something like that,
Yeah.
it will destroy you.
Yeah.
In its presence, I will bow.
I think that's what they're hoping for. No, that's why, number one,
Play chess, not checkers, Frank.
this is not coming into my house. Number two, if I'm around it, I'm going to be,
Sir and ma'am.
I'm not going to talk to it like I talk to my Siri, where I'm calling her a bitch and all that stuff.
It might communicate to your Siri and know already. Might be Siri's brother.
Hold on a second. Let me see. Okay, well, whatever. We'll talk to her. We'll talk to Siri one night. Give her a good whooping.
A good razzling.
Yeah, good razzling. Let's see here. Genie Yankee fan gifted a whole bunch of people on the Twitch subs. Listen, if you are a sub on Twitch, I just got to let you know. There is a way that you can get in on all of the perks, the universal perks of sponsoring the show, which is that includes the Sunday streams and the book and the film clubs, the watch parties. We watch the movies together, and so many other things. The discounts. I added a members only video today. You guys got to check out the members only video I added today. If you're a monthly sponsor, go to whatever members only site you are, Patreon, Subscribestar, the website. You got to check it out. I added something there too. I think you're gonna like. It's Aurora said something about me to my mother that she caught on tape that I thought was funny. My favorite part in they were watching Beauty and the Beast, and I like when Beast screams at Belle through the door when she says, "I'm not going to dinner." He goes, "Fine, then you can just starve."
Yeah.
And when he screams, he roars, starve.
Yeah, that's that good part.
You got to see Aurora's reaction to that part. Every time it happens now, she thinks of me. So you got to see that. I put that up there today. But with Twitch, I didn't know how to give you guys universal perks if you are a sub through there. So what I figured out was you guys, the Twitch members, just like the YouTube members, Patreon, Subscribestar, you guys are automatically given access to the Cigars and Brandy private chat room on the Quite Frankly Discord server. And in the Cigars and Brandy private chat in there, that as long as you're an active subscriber, you have access to that room. I always have the current members only password posted inside of there. So you can just take that, go to the members only blog on the website, and you can get all the links to the Sunday streams and the watch parties and all that stuff. So take advantage of it. I'm just trying to find a way to give everybody the perks of enjoying the show and all the bonuses. I think you like it a lot. We do a lot for our subscribers. Is that it? Oh, Mark Swan said, "You didn't lose sleep when Aurora lost a tooth, but I did." Well, she lost a tooth 2 weeks ago, and she has another one that's about to pop out. And she got a nice little lump of silver with a Sacred Heart on it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's not getting an ounce for every tooth, but it was her first tooth, so there's that. All right, let me see here. Over on Rumble, Jay Semo says, here's to you, Frank. Thank you. Well, thank you, Jay Semo. It's great to have you out there. Jay again says, sorry for the typo. Says, lots to think about. Don't worry about the typo. It's all right. It is okay. And then over on pilled.net, which will be over there in just a couple of minutes for the, hold on, let me take that off. Let me put the call in line. Pilled.net, let's see. Clinton Walter says, 20th anniversary and my son Matthew's 8th birthday tomorrow. Much love, Frank and Franklies. Happy birthday, Matthew. Corey J, thank you. Tommy Jekyll says, you mean this thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Vesper says, time goes faster as you age because there's so much sucking your time. Being a kid in the summer sun was just a dream. And yeah, when we were growing up, yeah. Oh, you know what we should have watched tonight? We didn't have time, but maybe we can save it for another night that you come in. Shit. It was a really great video I have saved about Xennials. Xennials? Like 1977 to 1985.
Is that where we are?
Like that's some people say that area where we've got I don't know.
I know what you're saying, because that's what I was kind of alluding to before, was like we're in this in-between age where like, we remember the world before the internet, and yet we know how much it's become a part of our everyday lives, right?
Hey, listen, we all, by the time I was in kindergarten, we all had computer rooms at school. You know, we were on those original Macs. We were playing Numbers Muncher and Word Muncher and all that other stuff and learning.
I'm trying to think kindergarten. I mean, maybe
1990, 1991. We already had computer rooms at our school.
Yeah, but how quickly did it evolve?
Oh, huge, very quick.
I mean, think about. I remember playing Oregon Trail.
Oh yeah,
right in my cousin's office at my aunt's house.
And the Yukon Trail as well.
Yeah, I remember very vividly playing it. And then how quickly now it's just,
got to go out and hunt a rabbit,
die from dysentery.
Everybody's
That's
always
classic.
I know.
That was so classic. That's like the catchphrase.
Have you ever watched 1883? Did you watch any of the Yellowstone stuff?
I was just having this conversation. Was there a 1923 series?
Yeah.
I watched the first, I think, 2 episodes. My wife fell asleep on the couch very
But
quickly.
you didn't see 1883 before that?
No. All that stuff, again, it becomes very heavy, I think there was like someone getting whipped by a nun, and then I was like, I can't watch this.
I know.
Things are too heavy. I can't engage.
1883 is pretty good though, and if you're a fan of the Oregon Trail, Yukon Trail,
who doesn't love the Wild West?
It's essentially like you're watching that. Like it's a story of the Dutton family actually making their way up to Montana.
Yeah.
And how they actually settled on the land. And then 1923, which I've only watched the first segment. I haven't seen anything after the past. I have to go and finish it. I didn't know that they released more episodes. They just stopped. What the fuck happened? Anyway,
I didn't watch Yellowstone either.
Well, that's crazy.
Again, it's just very heavy stuff.
Yellowstone is fun.
Is it?
Yeah. I especially like the first couple of seasons, when they got rid of Kevin Costner, like everybody knew.
I can't watch heavy things, man.
What's heavy?
Anything.
So what are you watching these days?
Right now, honestly, I'm watching Lincoln Lawyer. Right.
Okay.
I like things that are like, we watched Blue Collar. It was like a USA show. White Collar. That was it.
Okay.
USA show is about like some detective thing or he's an undercover cop, whatever. I don't watch a lot of TV, and when I do, it's usually just, as hey, let's just get on the couch and enjoy something other than just, our children. So I don't watch a lot. And when I do, it's just kind of more of like, all right, I watch Survivor still. Like I'm a big fan of the show Survivor.
The old episodes or
no new?
They have new ones?
Yeah, it's great. I'll watch Night Agent on Netflix. That's coming out with season 3 this week. So I'll watch things like that. But I even that, I mean, that's not bad. But I can't watch heavy things.
What am I watching? I don't know if I guess I don't really have anything I watch new. I mean, just today I sat down. I don't even know why I even put anything on today, but Lauren made me some lunch around 12:30. She made me like a few eggs and some stuff like that. And I left my office. I sat down in the kitchen and I just I put on 12 minutes of a Sopranos episode. And then I went right back into the office.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I even put that on?
Yeah.
But I just in time to see somebody strangled to death.
Yeah.
And just a nice little dopamine hit, something happy. But I don't know. I don't know why some things like calm me down. Like right now, John Carpenter's Halloween. I've seen that much. You've never watched that?
Yeah, no, I have. Of course I have. I'm just saying I couldn't. I don't think I could watch it now.
It's one
Having
of the
kids has really fucking made me very sensitive.
I know. But for some reason that calms me down. A movie like that.
Does it really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's kind of sick.
Like I'm gonna try to watch this new Game of Thrones thing now, just because of this latest episode that everyone's talking about, and it's the greatest thing ever. But I really don't watch a lot of TV.
Alrighty.
Although it sounds like I do.
Well, we have a lot saved up. We've seen a lot over the years.
That's the other thing. Like I was actually looking at my entertainment center. My kids were in the basement. I was looking at the amount of DVDs I have. I've consumed so many movies in my at this point. It's like it's kind of like it's just it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot of movies.
But I think that's actually continued education, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I really crave to watch is like I'll get a hankering for a good old school like kung fu movie. I'm like, man, I just want to sit down and watch an old kung fu movie right now. I find that very relaxing. Like a Sonny Chiba movie or like a Shaw Brothers movie, something like that. Those just always are just like perfect background, like an old Godzilla movie. Those are great, perfect.
There's a new Godzilla movie coming out, no?
Yeah. The last one was really good.
You know what Aurora just started with? She just watched this past week. Now she keeps asking my mom to put it on. My mom, I think it was just on television. I don't know if Aurora just saw like one scene of King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
It's absolutely hilarious and also ridiculous. I mean, she's I don't like that costume that King Kong. I know it's a very weird King Kong costume, honey. I understand that. But the other thing there too is that King Kong's supposed to be 50 feet tall, and it's a 50-foot tall gorilla, and you have Godzilla is the size of skyscrapers.
Right.
So it's like that's completely destroys canon.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid. And I said, did you see the part where he shoved where Godzilla gets a tree shoved down his throat and stuff like that? He goes, yeah, I saw that. And
yeah.
I said, you got to watch Son of Godzilla next. Do you ever see Son of Godzilla?
Yeah. Me and my son went on a good stretch over the summer. It's maybe 2 summers at this point. On Pluto.tv, they had like a Godzilla channel. And we had a good stretch that after dinner, we right before his shower, we consume a good 45 minutes of old Godzilla movies. And there's just, I don't know, they're great.
Son of God.
My son does if I'm on my knees like doing something, my son will walk past me and he'll step on my Achilles heel on purpose.
Yeah.
Like he'll go take my back and put like a rear naked choke on, and he'll step up. I'm like, dude, I'm like, please stop. He does it on purpose now. Right on the Achilles heel.
Aurora attacks Lauren. Like I think Aurora, it's funny because I attack Aurora constantly.
Sure.
And then, and she'll jump on me, jump on my back and all that other stuff. But I think that she chooses to target Lauren the way she does because I think she thinks that she actually has a chance at taking Lauren out. And Lauren kind of like, she gets overwhelmed and she's like, stop. But Aurora's just like I think it's actually kind of funny until it's not.
Right.
She always goes too far. But anyway.
Really?
It's just ridiculous. Anyway, we did so much good stuff tonight. Francis Marion, 76, says, I was talking about dead internet theory today, thinking a few years back. Truthstream Media had a great video about the Potemkin village. There's nothing after the first few internet searches. Truthstream Media did something good on it. Jimmy Corsetti did something on it as well. The original dead internet theory link, though, I have it saved somewhere. Maybe I'll drop it into the Telegram afterwards. But hey, you can't go wrong with Truthstream Media, no matter what they're covering. And there you have it. Okay, that's all. That's all we got for you over here. We have a couple more minutes that we're going to do with you. I'm going to be reading through all the rest of the pilled gold pills. We're going to do a couple more minutes on the flip side. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to drop that link in the chat rooms right now. Come and join Vinny and I, where we're just going to read the general chat. We're going to read the gold pills. We have a couple of things I saved just for the flip side tonight that I think you're going to like. It goes by so quick. We talk until the lights go out at 9:30. And listen, more than not, it is a really, really unmissable time. So please come and hang out with us on the flip side. I'm putting just come on in.
Come on in to the flip side.
Come to the flip side.
Upside down world.
That's it. It's better than the ending of Stranger Things.
I didn't mind it.
You didn't mind it?
Yeah, why? Did you mind it?
Yeah, it was stupid.
Why was it stupid? Because it didn't end in chaos?
No, I mean the chaos that we expected.
Ended everybody. It just ended. Everyone went happily ever after.
No, the chaos that we were expecting, the face off we were expecting that we needed to get, we got in the first 30 minutes of a 90-minute episode. And then it was just like 70 minutes of everybody. So what are you doing after college? I'm really going to miss this. Like what? Why are we getting that? You wrap that up in 15 minutes at the end. How did you blow your load in the first 40 minutes of this?
I have become so much less critical of things.
No.
I'm like, okay, everyone ends off in a happy way. I'm good.
Well,
I was like, I liked it.
There are people who would agree with you.
Listen, that's
it
fine.
Would not be me.
That's all right.
Guys, go and check out all of Vinny's work.
Oh, thank you.
On Instagram. It's not all. It's it's the Council of Dudes. I have that linked in the description here, so you can click through that on YouTube. But on Instagram, that's where most of your activity is. Tell everybody where to go.
Yes, thank you. First off, always a pleasure. I love that we started. How long ago we're like, oh, we gotta come on the show, and then all of a sudden it was like, all right, we're gonna keep this train going. So I appreciate you having me back on. Thank you very much. I always love being here, having these conversations with you. They stimulate my mind in the best ways, and they're much needed. So thank you. Council of Dudes podcast over on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcast, and then Vinny Brusco on Instagram and at Agora_Westchester. Is the project that I am doing. That's the business. That's what we're doing. Creating a space for men, an actual tangible space that cannot be, coerced by AI overlords. We're genuine connection and relationship. We do a thing called Brewed for Dudes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We just grab coffee, crack open our laptops, do some work from 9 to 11, and then we have Council of Dudes men's groups. We've got Bible think tanks. All a space for guys to have deeper, more meaningful relationships and conversations. So, and we're in a big overhaul of that. So, very exciting stuff on the Agora front.
Much needed. So there is there's Agora Westchester, and of course you can find all of that through Vinny Brusco. Just type in at Vinny Brusco or Brusco. Brusco. That's it. Oh, and maybe next time you're in, we'll have some other people in the room. We'll just start forming panels and shit.
I love a good panel.
All right, guys. I will see you on the flip side. Thank you so much, and more good stuff coming your way. Go and check out Keto Brainz. KetoBrainz.com. We have 2 weeks left, just about less than 2 weeks left of this month. Use promo code February for 15% off, and to get in on not only $700 worth of incredible products, you're getting a wonderful product as it is just with your purchase. But then on top of that, I am going to throw in a 20th anniversary shirt as well as a prize. This is very exclusive stuff. We're only giving this to new sponsors these days. So enjoy yourself. I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And I hope that you're here hanging out and that there are no disturbances on the internet. Be well.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Quite Frankly is filmed before a live studio audience, and now our super chatter, starting with Francis Marion, who just became a member of the Nugget, and now they get to see all the members-only stuff we've been doing for the film, the books, everything. Francis, welcome aboard. Good for you. Wherever you become a sponsor, good for you. Mark Swan, Gribble Sillin, Jay Britt, Stostu, Revolution 76, Joe Martinez, Two Dogs, Mike D, Jeannie Yankee Fan for all of the subs that she gave out over there on Twitch. That's incredible. And thanks again to you all on our Rumble, all the Rumble ranters. We're going to get to those gold pillars again right now. And tomorrow's another day, everybody. Thank you so much for tonight. Good night.
Goodbye, my dearest. Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. Will you shut up?
Meow.